What if Texas, the Lone Star State, had never joined the United States? What if in 1845 it had stood tall as an independent republic, defying the pull of a growing American empire? Picture a world where the map of North America looks wildly different. A world where one state's bold choice reshapes history as we know it. Alternative history isn't just a game of imagination. It's a lens to see how fragile our world's story is, how one choice could rewrite everything we know. Today, we're not just asking what if, we're diving into a Texas you've never seen, a nation that could have changed the fate of wars, empires, and even the modern world. But there's a catch, one twist in this story that might shock you. It's a twist that could have turned Texas into a global powerhouse, or led to its downfall. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that twist is, and it'll make you rethink everything. Here's what you're about to discover: how Texas's defiance could have shifted the tides of democracy, conflict, and power, ideas that still echo in today's world. You'll see how one decision in 1845 could have redrawn borders, rewritten wars, and reshaped the very fabric of global politics. And trust me, the implications are bigger than you think. In our timeline, Texas annexed to the United States in 1845, trading its hard-won independence for the security of a rising superpower. It was a choice born of necessity, debt, threats from Mexico, and the promise of stability. But let's rewind to that crossroads. What if Texas had said no? What if its leaders had gambled on independence, believing they could stand alone against the giants surrounding them? What if the Lone Star had chosen a different path, one that would ripple across centuries? Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on fascinating new videos exploring alternative history. Write in the comments your vision of this alternative history, as well as offer your options for other events that we will definitely consider. Part 1. Texas chooses independence. Let's rewind to 1845. Texas was a young republic, forged in the fires of its war for independence from Mexico. The victory at San Jacinto had won its freedom, but the cost was steep. The nation was drowning in debt, its borders harassed by Native American tribes, and Mexico still refused to let go, claiming Texas as a rebellious province. The United States, hungry for land and power, offered a way out: annexation. Join us, they said, and your troubles will fade under the stars and stripes. In our history, Texas said yes. But what if it hadn't? Picture this: Texas leaders, their hearts pounding with pride, turned down the United States offer. No annexation, no safety net, just the Lone Star flag flying high, a symbol of defiance. They bet everything on the dream of standing alone, a sovereign nation carving its own path. It's a gamble that could make or break them. Could Texas, small and surrounded, survive without the might of America behind it? Let's explore what might have happened next. Political power. Independence meant vulnerability, and Texas would have needed friends, fast. Enter Britain and France, two European heavyweights eager to check United States expansion. Texas could have courted them with promises of trade or strategic alliances. Imagine the Gulf of Mexico as a chessboard of empires, with Texas as the prized pawn. Britain might have supplied ships and cash, lured by Texas cotton and a chance to tweak America's nose. France, with visions of a new North American foothold, could have sent troops. But these allies wouldn't come cheap. Would Texas trade its soul to keep its freedom? Economic growth. Fast forward to the early 20th century. Oil gushes from Texas soil, turning dirt into gold. In our world, this fueled America's rise, but here, an independent Texas could have become a petrostate to rival the giants. Picture gleaming cities: Houston, a hub of wealth; Dallas, a beacon of ambition. Flush with oil money, Texas might have sat at the table with Saudi Arabia, a small nation punching far above its weight. But riches invite trouble. Could Texas have guarded its treasure from jealous neighbors? Social identity. Now envision the people. Texas was already a crossroads of cultures. American pioneers, Mexican ranchers, and Tejanos shaped its soul. Add European influence to the mix. British merchants sipping tea in Galveston, French poets strolling Austin's streets. This Texas wouldn't just be a state, it'd be a nation, a wild blend of grit and grace. But could such a diverse society hold together? Or would it fracture under the strain? Here's the million-dollar question. Could Texas have stood tall against titans like the United States and Mexico? With powerful allies and oil wealth, maybe, but the odds were steep. Was this small republic destined to thrive, or was it doomed to crumble under the weight of its own daring? The answer's coming, and trust us, it's not what you expect. Stay with us. Freedom wasn't free. It was a high-wire act over a pit of wolves. Every alliance, every oil well, every bold move brought Texas closer to greatness or disaster. Mexico could strike to reclaim its lost land. The United States might tire of an independent rival and force its hand. European powers could pull strings until Texas was a puppet, not a player. Yet in that struggle, Texas might have forged a legend, a tiny nation that dared to defy the giants. The stakes? Survival itself. Part 2. How can Texas counter Mexico and the U.S.? So, could Texas have stood tall against giants like the United States and Mexico? The stakes were sky high, a small nation with big dreams, juggling alliances, oil, and identity. Now let's dive into how Texas might have answered that million-dollar question. Not just surviving, but rewriting the rules of the game. Outsmarting the Titans. Texas's leaders knew they couldn't match the United States or Mexico in raw power. Armies, fleets, those were luxuries a fledgling nation couldn't afford. But what Texas lacked in muscle, it made up in nerve. Politically, it turned the Gulf of Mexico into its own chessboard. And Texas wasn't a pawn, it was a player. Picture this: diplomats in dusty boots sailing to London, offering Britain a cotton empire to rival the American South. At the same time, others charm Paris with tales of a French-friendly Texas, a bulwark against United States greed. But here's the kicker: Texas never picks a side. It dangles promises like bait, keeping Britain and France hooked without handing over the reins. Mexico fumes, the United States hesitates, and Texas? It dances between the raindrops, free because no one dares upset the balance. Could cunning really outfox cannons? Texas bets it can. Oil, the game changer. Then comes the oil boom, and everything shifts. In Part 1, we saw the black gold bubbling up, promising wealth beyond imagination. But an independent Texas doesn't just cash in, it doubles down. Instead of letting foreign tycoons drain its wells, Texas takes control. Imagine Houston rising from the plains, its streets paved with oil money, its skyline a forest of steel and glass. Galveston hums as a global port, ships unloading European goods and loading Texas crude. The Republic isn't just rich, it's strategic, selling oil to allies and rivals alike, keeping everyone guessing. Could Texas have turned dirt into a dynasty? Here's the twist we promised. Texas doesn't just scrape by, it flips the script. Far from crumbling under pressure, it uses its size, its resources, and its grit to outmaneuver the Titans. No puppet strings from Europe, no annexation by the United States. Texas stands alone, not as a victim, but as a victor. Its alliances keep invaders at bay, its oil builds a modern nation, and its people craft a society that's the envy of the world. By the 1900s, Texas isn't a footnote in history, it's a headline. Neutral in wars, it sells to all sides. Rich in resources, it invests in schools, roads, and dreams. Small? Sure. But weak? Never. Could a nation this daring really pull it off? The evidence is in the skyscrapers of Dallas, the bustling docks of Galveston, the vibrant streets of San Antonio. But greatness isn't a straight line. Texas's rise sends ripples, jealous neighbors, wary allies, and new challenges on the horizon. What happens when a lone star burns this bright? Does it light the way for others, or does it draw a target on its back? The United States might rethink its patience, Mexico its grudges. Europe could tire of the game. And inside Texas, can wealth and diversity coexist without cracking? The answer's coming, and it's bigger than you think. Stay with us, the final act is about to unfold. Part 3, the consequences of Texas independence for the whole world. Imagine the scene. American warships hovering off Galveston, Texan cannons glinting in the sun, a tense standoff threatening to erupt. But Texas had a card up its sleeve: alliances. Deals with Britain and Germany kept the oil flowing and foreign navies close. The United States, wary of a broader fight, blinked first. Texas stayed free, but the giant to the north never stopped watching. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on fascinating new videos exploring alternative history. Write in the comments your vision of this alternative history, as well as offer your options for other events that we will definitely consider. Mexico, meanwhile, nursed a wound that wouldn't heal. Texas had been theirs once, and every Lone Star flag stung like salt in the cut. Border skirmishes flared, raiders crossing the Rio Grande, Texan Rangers striking back. Yet Mexico's own chaos, revolutions, and infighting kept it from mounting a real threat. Texas saw the chance and seized it. Forts rose along the border, trade offers softened old grudges, and by the 1930s, a wary peace took root. Could enemies become neighbors? Texas bet on it, and the gamble paid off. Mexico grumbled, but it dealt. Success brought wealth, but not harmony. In Houston's gleaming skyscrapers, oil barons sipped champagne, while out in the plains, farmers and ranchers cursed the dust. The divide deepened, and with it, whispers of unrest. Then there was the cultural kaleidoscope. Anglo settlers, Tejanos, German immigrants, all tugging Texas in different directions. Austin's dusty streets echoed with arguments. Should Texas align with America? Double down on its Hispanic heritage? Or carve a path all its own? The legislature was a shouting match of accents and ideas, teetering on collapse. Yet from this chaos came a spark, a new generation, born of blended bloodlines, who didn't care about old labels. They called themselves Texans, pure and simple, and their pride stitched the nation back together. Diversity, once a fault line, became the bedrock of a fiercer identity. So, what if Texas had stayed independent? Picture a 21st century where it's a global player. Its oil shaping economies, its culture sparking trends, its defiance rewriting the rules. The United States might be smaller, Mexico stabler, Europe less dominant. History's dominoes would fall differently, all because one state dared to stand alone. But beyond the maps and power plays, Texas's story is a mirror. It asks us, what if we chased our own path? What if we turned weakness into strength? In this alternate world, Texas didn't just survive, it thrived, proving that destiny isn't set in stone. It's forged by those bold enough to try. Your move. Now it's your call. Could Texas have held its ground through the ages, a lone star that never faded? Or was its independence a flame too wild to last? Jump in the comments and let's hash it out. If this twist on history got your gears turning, hit subscribe. More what-ifs are on the way.